Hey guys, today I'm gonna be doing a little get ready with me out here. I'm actually gonna put makeup on. I have not been wearing a ton of makeup over the last 4 months or so. My baby is 4 months old now. And so I thought I would sit down today and do a little Q&A. I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram stories. That's where I did it. I've been actually off Twitter. I might talk about this in this video, so I didn't ask on Twitter, so I'm sorry if you don't have Instagram. I'm gonna answer your guys' questions, and I'm gonna be putting some makeup on. Beauty content. Can you even believe it? I cannot. I'm not using any like revolutionary makeup products. It's gonna be the most basic makeup you've ever seen in your entire life. How is it being in your new environment, new house or property? It's so beautiful. It's been amazing. It's really isolating. I mean, in a good way. We really wanted to be out of town. We had, you guys heard, the amount of trucks and cars and just the amount of interruption, and we were just on kind of a busier area. Being there was just, I mean, it was fine, but we're not really people. It's really nice to be out here. It's so peaceful. There's so many birds. We actually hung up 3 bird feeders, and being able to watch the birds, and that makes us sound so old. We really are. We've realized after moving out here that we're just like geriatric. Being able to like watch the birds. We put up 4 hummingbird feeders here, and yes, I change the water out weekly. And then we also wash our bird feeders because I know there was some issues with that. It's wonderful. We have so much wildlife. When we actually, like when we put the feeders out, we realized just how many birds there were out here. Before you would see like 2 robins like hopping through the yard, and now there's literally like hundreds of birds and squirrels and blue jays and hawks and ravens and hummingbirds. I mean, it's like it's insane. So it's amazingly peaceful out here. We love it so much, and we're getting a bunch of yard work and stuff done. It's about to be, we're actually like right in spring right now, and things are blooming, and it's just beautiful, and we love it out here so much. This question is, would you recommend having a kid if someone is on the fence? The world seems scary. If the world feels scary to you right now, add a kid into that, and it's 100 times scarier, at least in my opinion. Since having him, I deal with generalized anxiety disorder. Having him has made that so much more, because now I have to be concerned about somebody that I love more than life itself. Like, it's just overwhelming. And it's something you're on the fence about. I would say wait until you feel like you are ready, because it is a huge responsibility. I always wondered, I remember asking this on Twitter before I had him, and I said, when parents say that it's hard, what do they mean? Like, what do you mean it's hard? It's just 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Your brain is not your own brain anymore. It is on them constantly. It is this constant fear and concern, and oh, it's just a lot. So if you are ready to have your life like upheaved and have like a completely different life, then you know that's what you have to take into consideration, because your life will forever be different. It is no longer like and a lot of people I think that having a kid is like you continue living your life, but you just add a baby to it. And it certainly probably gets to be that way later on down the line. But at least for me right now, it's not like that at all. Like, it's not like I just added him to our lives and our lives continue normally. He becomes the whole day, because they're just constant. They are like an absolute constant. Yeah, they're incredibly rewarding, and I would never change anything. Like, I love him so much that after he goes to bed at night, I just sit there and stare at pictures and video of him and miss him. And I didn't know if I would be that way, but I really do. I like love him an unfathomable amount. It's actually so much. Yeah, I would never change my life. If I would like given the option, would I go back? No. Life will be very different as you know it. And if you're ready for that and you understand that fact, then, you know, go for it. I would say though, like, the world doesn't get less scary. Everything becomes exponentially scarier when you add a little kiddo that you care about that much to the mix. At least in my opinion. What has your experience been like with postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety, waxing and waning? It's absolutely waxes and wanes with each day. I will say the biggest help for me so far, so like right now I'm in a really good spot. Really good spot. When I filmed my postpartum video, the baby was like he was going through like a really rough time, crying a lot. Babies go through these things called developmental leaps, and when they go through those, they are really fussy and they don't sleep well at all, and it's just a lot. So in the middle of those times when your baby's been like fussing all day long and you've tried everything and your arms are sore because your baby weighs 1,000,000 pounds, it's a lot, and you can just, in those times, it's like circumstantial. Like I feel like I'm not coping as well during those times. And that was when I filmed my like postpartum video that you guys watched, if you watched it. Other times though, when things are kind of going well, I don't feel any depression, anxiety stuff at all. And so what I have discovered for myself, if you follow me on Instagram stories, I found the #1 thing for my mental health, and I didn't realize this until I started changing it, is getting out of the house. And now I didn't realize that this was causing me so many problems, but because of having a baby in the middle of a pandemic, I didn't realize that that is the biggest contributing factor to how shitty I felt, because I don't leave the house. Like there were times where I didn't leave the house for, I don't know, 2 months, like grocery delivery. Zack would go get the gas, like he would run to the store, and I wasn't leaving the house at all, especially because my baby really hates the car, like hates the car seat, screams the entire time. It's so like not a fun time. But we made the decision about a month ago. We said enough is enough. I know he doesn't like the car, but he's never gonna get used to it if we don't just take him out in it. He can't get used to something if we're not exposing him to it. So we're like, you know, he's gonna not like it, but we need to put him in the car. And he started to get a little more used to it, and he still like doesn't love it, but so much better now, to where instead of him screaming the entire time that we're in the car, where he's just like crying and crying and crying, he now will cry a little bit, maybe for like 5 minutes in the beginning, and then he falls asleep and we're good, and it's just so much better. And we even went for a 4 or 5 mile walk the other day with him in the stroller. We have a Duna, so it's a car seat and it converts into a stroller. Like you just pop a button and the wheels pop down. We took him for a walk in that, and it was 4 miles, and I just brought my breastfeeding pillow and we fed him a couple times along the way, and it was wonderful. Like getting out of the house is the #1 thing that has changed my mental health. I didn't realize how much being stuck in these same 4 walls, doing the same routine every day, was making me feel like I was in Groundhog's Day, like this perpetual cycle of Groundhog's Day. I didn't realize how much it was affecting my mental health negatively. As soon as we started getting out more and going on walks, being out in nature, even if it's kind of chilly, we just super bundle him up, get him on a blankie, put him in the stroller, and we go for walks and get out of the house and go, you know, even if we're not going into shops, we're like perusing these cute little places, and like it's done leaps and bounds for my mental health. And getting out, and I've been exercising, and I actually bought an exercise bike. It'll be here in about a month. I don't know why it takes so long to get here, but exercising has been one of the most important factors to my mental health. I can't even believe how much better it makes me feel. I just accept the fact now, after 4 months of dealing with this, that there will be days that are bad and there will be days that are good, and that is just part of the recovery process for me. Like when I'm having a bad day, I try not to dwell on it. I also don't allow myself to Google anymore. That sounds really weird, but I don't allow myself to Google anything anymore, because Google will not have the answer for me. After talking to therapists and everything like that, Google is actually reinforcing my anxiety so badly, because what I'll do is, you know, something will happen with the baby, or something will happen with me, or I was focusing so heavily on why I felt depressed, why I felt anxious, how to make it go away, what to do to stop it, that I was inundating myself all day long with content surrounding anxiety and depression and how do I feel better, what do I do, and this and that. So much so that my brain was on anxiety and depression 24 hours a day. So I talked to Zack one evening. I had a breakdown. Like I was literally sobbing, crying, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't feel okay. And he was like, Kristi, I just want you to try one thing. I want you to stop looking up anxiety and depression. Just stop looking it up and try to focus, instead of on how to get rid of it, on just anything else. Just on anything else. Like find a hobby, read a book, get out. Get outside, go for a walk, go chop wood, like we have wood that needs to be chopped, like go do an art project, paint, do anything but focus on that. And I realized in that moment that that was all I was doing. From sunup to sundown, I was so concerned about how shitty I felt that all I was doing was researching how to feel better. And researching it doesn't make you feel better. So what actually made me start feeling better was doing anything else. Like literally anything else. Oh my God. I've had a piece of black pepper in my too. So I just discovered that like I was doing the exact opposite thing that would make me feel better, because instead of sitting around thinking about anxiety and depression all day and how I can get rid of it, I had to go out and do things that took my mind off of it. And so I started reading books that weren't about that at all. I started I painted some pictures, and I started doing yard work and like having Zack take him, and I would go do an hour's worth of yard work and go rake and getting out and filling like some spots in the driveway. We had to dig a trench, like doing anything. Like I was planting herbs. We're doing a little potted herb garden in the front. Anything that was taking my mind off of feeling like shit. And you know what? It made me start feeling better, like almost instantaneously. I wasn't allowing myself to Google symptoms anymore. I have severe health anxiety. Like it's the #1 thing. I've seen doctors, trust me, I've done all the things, and I have some pretty rough health conditions and stuff going on right now. So it makes it even worse. I'm not gonna talk about it on here. Nobody's concerned about my own, but it's just all of that stuff compounded is just a lot to deal with. I'm starting to realize though that there will be bad days and there will be good days, and I remember the good days on the bad days, and that really helps me get through. Like I remember you didn't feel bad forever and you will feel good again, and I tell myself that on my bad days, like you will feel good again, so just don't linger in this and put your brain on something else. And if I stop focusing on it and start focusing on other things, I have noticed a huge shift in my mental state. So anyway, that was the longest answer ever. A lot of people are asking if we want to have a second baby, and this is something that I think about every single day, because I don't know. I always said I wanted to have more than one before I had one, and now that I have one, I'm kind of feeling like I'm one and done. But that's just because the postpartum and newborn stage was so hard for me that I literally don't know that I could do it again, especially with like having a toddler around. I would love to give him a sibling, but I honestly think that instead of him having a sibling, having a healthy mom is more important. And because that was so rough on me, I don't know that I could do that again. I don't know that I could go through that birth again. I don't know that I could experience, and things could be so different, but because I can't predict that, like right now, I'm gonna say no. But if, I never say never, because you don't know what the future holds, and I might change my mind in the future. I don't think so right now. I think that like I'm really happy with our little family. Has the anxiety of protecting your son worn off, or is it still just as intense as the beginning? It's not as intense at all, but it's changing each day. So instead of it being like him not breathing in his sleep that I worry about, it's like, I don't know. There's just so many different things. So no, the anxieties just honestly change. It's just, I feel like I'm gonna worry forever. There's a normal level of mom worry that's out there, and I don't feel like it's all postpartum anxiety. I feel like a lot of it is just like parental anxiety and stress and worry. You worry about him. Like, I mean, he's the light of my life. I love him with my entire heart, and I don't want anything bad to happen to him. So that's just a huge concern that I have, and it kind of extends to every part of my life with him. Although it's much needed, do you feel guilty leaving him with someone else to take a break? Yes, it's so bad. It's the weirdest like catch-22, because it's like you need a break, you need to like take some time for yourself, yet the guilt I feel leaving him even with his own father like is crippling to me. So it's a really hard thing to get over, but I feel like it's just gonna take some time. I don't know that it ever fully goes away. Mom guilt is so intense, but I don't know how to make it go away other than just like taking the time and like having Zack consistently reassure me that like he's okay, and like it's okay. But yeah, the guilt is so intense, and I haven't accepted help from anybody else except for Zack. So I don't think I could. I don't think I'm at that part in my life, like, well, that was like the fastest face of makeup, but I don't think I'm at that part in my life where I could actually like accept help in any other way with anything. Like I can accept housework help, like if my sister was like, oh, I want to come over and help with this blah blah, but like with him I can't do it. Like I can't even really let anyone else hold him, That's still a thing. I think though, because I keep feeling really guilty about that, I'm like, God, nobody's been able to hold him. Like I can't relinquish control in that way. And Zach keeps reminding me, like, just calm down. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Like, you're not being weird. Has becoming a mom changed your perspective on beauty and self-care? I don't know. I mean, I guess because I don't wear makeup hardly at all now, and I do know self-care. I have not worn skincare one time, other than like you just saw me put on the xoxo water cream. I have done nothing since the whole beginning of my pregnancy. Literally no skincare, no nothing, literally nothing. I think I've worn moisturizer twice since he was born. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It's that few and far between. So, but it's not because I don't want to, it's just more simply that my mind is on other things. I actually feel way more confident though. Like, I feel very beautiful without makeup now, and I enjoy wearing makeup. I think the one thing that it has changed for me is that I would feel very self-conscious right now in as much makeup as I wore before. Even lash wise, like I was always into these humongous lashes before, and I put on a pair of lashes that I was used to a while back, and I was like, oh, these are just too big for me now. Like, I just feel like they're overkill for my face now. So I bought some Ardell Demi Wispies the other day. I feel like that's more the vibe I'm going for. I don't know that I would like do as much of that like bright, crazy eyeshadow right now. I'm feeling a lot more just like natural and like glowy and like fresh skin and very like neutral style. I mean, I always was a neutral bitch, but now I feel like even more so, for sure. Do you think that you and Zach are closer than ever now with the baby? No. I think that we, in a way, have grown closer together, but in a way we like, sometimes you'll be like, oh, we haven't like connected on a just him and I level. Like, we only get time to ourselves where he's not awake from 8 p.m. until about 10:30 when we go to bed. That's our time together each night, and I feel like we might have been closer before, but I mean, we have a different like bond now. It's different. Like, we have something that we created together, but we definitely don't get as much time to like sit and have like these intense, awesome conversations as we had before. It's definitely more like baby, 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 and then like, oh, hey, oh, and I love you. We have different priorities, and life just is so different now. And so, it hasn't made our relationship worse, but it's definitely not like we're leaps and bounds closer. It's more like there's just so much filling our brains now that like we rarely get the time to connect as much as we did before. There's just hummingbirds fighting right in front of my face. I want to give a trigger warning here that this question is about like infant loss. So if that is triggering to you, you may want to skip over this question. I'll try to like put a timestamp here that like is so you don't have to listen to this question. The question is, I am 17 weeks pregnant right now, and I wanted to know if you have any advice around anxiety about SIDS. If you don't know what SIDS is, it's sudden infant death syndrome, and it is absolutely devastating and was my #1 biggest fear with him. It was so, I was frightened about it. But what made me feel better was doing safe sleep. So we use a snoo, and a snoo is considered one of the safest sleep. They're actually trying to get it approved by the FDA, I believe, as like a SIDS prevention tool. I know that it's not available to everybody. The reason they're trying to FDA approve it is that so insurance will cover it so that people can use it. Editing Kristi here. I'm well aware as I'm talking about this that the snoo is super expensive. If you are somebody that wants to check it out though, and I'm in no way affiliated with them, I bought it myself, you can rent it as well. So if it's something you're interested in, they apparently have a rental program, and it's like $108 per month, which is still really expensive, but typically you only use it for the first 4 to 6 months of life anyway. So I just wanted to throw this in there. If it was something you were interested in or looking into, but it's just too expensive to buy, which it is, they do have that program. It is a bed, it's like a bassinet essentially, and it's got like mesh sides. The bottom of it moves so they stay constantly like slightly moving, and they're swaddled in it, but they're like strapped to the side, so it's like a sleep positioner, and it keeps them from being able to roll over. They can't like, there's no way for their face to get pressed up against anything. Very safe. That is what eased my mind, knowing that I think I read a statistic saying that like 100 million hours of sleep have been had in the snoo, and there hasn't been one infant death in a snoo. That made me feel better. If I wasn't using the snoo, it's just making sure that I know all of the statistics around risk factors. So like smoking is a big risk factor, drinking, falling asleep in unsafe positions, all of those things are the risk factors. So looking into what all the risk factors are and seeing how many of those you have, and just knowing that you're doing everything possible to eliminate that risk. And I don't fit very many of the risk factors at all. I had to ease my mind. It was something that I had done so much research on that I was not sleeping. I was literally sick to my stomach about it constantly all day long, feeling ill about the fact that something might happen to my baby. And I just had to be confident that I was doing everything in the safest way possible. I don't have any of the risk factors, and I needed to know that like if I was doing everything safely, safe sleep, everything, that's all I can do. That's all I can control. I need to sleep, and I need to know that like as long as we are being as safe as humanly possible, then that is all I can do. And I cannot play God. I cannot control the world. I had to just relinquish a little bit of control, do everything that I could control, and relinquish the rest because I wasn't sleeping and I was worried constantly, worried sick, literally making myself physically sick. So that's my only advice, is that. Has Zack and your sex life changed? Things are just different down there. I have like this pubic bone pain that I can't really explain. Things are just different feeling, different looking. And I think the hardest part for me beyond like the physical is just like my libido. I don't know if it's a breastfeeding thing, but it is. What is a libido? I don't even know. And I had a really, really high one for the last like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years prior to having the baby. I had like an extremely high libido, like, and when we were back trying to conceive back in the day, gone. Like literally, what is a libido? I don't even know. I could have literally like, I was like, sex is not even a concern to me. Like that was how I was back when we were trying to conceive back in the day, which made it kind of difficult. But it's back to that now postpartum. I just literally am like, where did it go? And I wonder if it's a breastfeeding thing. And I feel like many of the times it's actually more that my brain cannot compartmentalize him. Like I cannot stop thinking about the baby, the baby, the baby, the baby, the baby, the baby, the baby. It's always the baby. And when he's, you know, like, so I don't like it when my brain pops to thinking about him, you know. I want to like be able to enjoy the moment without thinking constantly about like, oh, is he gonna wake up? Is this gonna happen? I can't like stop my brain from just doing what my brain does, and it's very, 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 very frustrating. I have to get over the mental hurdle of it, and I know that this is not abnormal. I know that for many people this is just like what they go through, but it's really hard for me to, I don't know, it's just different. So I feel like I just gotta get there, but it's just taking so much mentally for me to be able to get there. I don't know, it's tough. If you have any tips, please let me know. I think that I just need to like stop overthinking it, because I'm a textbook overthinker. I need to stop overthinking it and just be like, it's fine, and like shut the baby monitor off from it. It's that's the problem too. Like I always have a baby monitor on when we're not with him up in the room, just in case he cries or he needs us or anything. Like I don't want him to be up there screaming. So for me, it's like that's always on in the background, and it's just tough. So yeah, no, it's definitely different. How has Zack handled becoming a father? Oh, beautifully. Like he is literally the best father I could ever imagine. Like the best dad in the world. So kind and wonderful and loving and patient and sweet and silly with him. Like they have such a great relationship, and he's so helpful, and he is truly like, we're each 100% in parenting. It's not like I take over 80% of things and then he kind of comes in for 20. Like I feel like it's an equal partnership here. He's extremely involved, and it's really a beautiful thing to see. It was Zack, the thing that I was the most excited for was watching Zack become a dad, and it has been like the joy of my life, because he is truly, if there ever was anyone that was paternal, it is him. He is meant to be a father, like wonderful, wonderful dad, and it is like a sight to behold. I have enjoyed it so much, and oh, him and those two together, oh, just melt my heart into a million pieces. I love them so much. It makes me physically ill, but it's been wonderful. There's so many birds out here, literally like millions. Do you miss doing YouTube as frequently as you used to? Yeah, I wish it was a lot easier for me to just like pump out videos, but I just am doing what I can do, and I'm putting zero pressure on myself. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna film a video on Tuesday, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm ready to film the video now, and I'm like, it's been 2 Tuesdays since then. I'm like, god damn, like it is what it is, because we have other stuff going on outside of, you know, just being new parents. You know, we have so many just appointments, and we had a water issue at the house, we've had just things. So there's a lot going on outside of just, you know, taking care of him. There's just a lot of other stuff. So it's not like we're just sitting around, like we're doing so many things that have to be done. And especially since we have this, you know, big yard now, it's an effort. So I wish I could be doing videos as much as I used to. I wish I could put up 2-3 videos a week, but the reality is that right now I'm getting up what I can get up, and I am prioritizing like being present for him and for myself, and just being like, you know, mentally in a good spot, and trying to keep just balancing it all has been rough. But you know, I feel like I'm doing okay. I mean, it's not as many videos as I would like to do, but it is videos. So what new perspective do you have after becoming a mom? The entire world looks different to me now. It doesn't just shift your little like life in what it is. It shifts everything. Everything I see in a new light. I see all new children in a new light. I see everything. Like I can't even watch videos, like happy videos of children without crying. If I see something sad with a child in it now, I'm sobbing. Like it actually sends me into like a panic. I can't handle anything anymore. I'm soft. I am soft, but in equal ways, I am not soft. Like I am way more of a confident person. Like I have my tolerance meter for shit is down here, minuscule. But my tolerance, like I cannot handle anything sad. It just crushes me. I can't handle anything. Like I see the world completely differently now. It's almost like I was reborn the day that he was born, and it shifted so much in me. I feel like I'm still the same person completely, but I am new too. There's a new side to me that just couldn't have existed before, because I'm living on a different plane now. I'm living in a different existence that I didn't know before. Like I didn't have this it's like the Matrix, like something I realized something, you know, having him is just, it's just changed my perspective on everything, and it's made me think about things I never thought about before. It's really a fucking trip, man. Like it's a lot, but I love it. I'm glad to have it, because I see now, you know how like there's that whole like mama bear thing, and I was always like, yeah, mama bear, but now when you are one, you're like, I would literally fucking destroy anyone who tried to hurt my child. And it's crazy. I don't like loving something this much. It's so overwhelming, but I don't know. I feel like I'm more understanding. I'm more compassionate. I'm more empathetic, but I am less willing to take people's shit, and I have a lot more clear boundaries now, like how I removed Twitter from my phone. Bye. Fuck off. Like Twitter was causing me nothing but harm, because I was treating Twitter like I was just talking to a group of my friends. I'd be like, hey, what do you guys recommend for this? Like I was treating it like a mommy group on, you know, Facebook with my close friends, and I didn't even think about the fact that like I'm tweeting out to 200,000 people who do not know me, who have opinions about me, and who are like, why the fuck are you asking Twitter? And then I was like, why the fuck am I asking Twitter? It was like a parasocial relationship, but like instead of the subscriber having a parasocial relationship with me, I was having a parasocial relationship with you guys, and I was treating it like just like y'all were my best friends, and we've had like these intimate conversations, and I don't know you and you don't know me, and I was treating Twitter like therapy in a way, and it was so dumb. So I removed the Twitter app from my homepage, and I replaced it with Pinterest, which is actually, I honestly feel like was a really good choice, because Pinterest is nothing but like positivity. At least for me, all I see is like gardening stuff, like home decor, and so it's a creative outlet. So instead of every time my finger would go to click on Twitter, it would open up, here's 45 ways to have a garden. And I was like, huh, I realized how many times per day I click that button to go to Twitter so that I can feel worse when I leave it. It was just constant fighting and constant, it was just a lot. I love Twitter. It's like my addiction. It's like my one social media app that I have a hard time stopping. But it was absolutely necessary, and it has really, really helped me not reading it all the time. I've gone back on it a few times. I haven't tweeted anything out, but it's been about like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks that I haven't been on Twitter, and it's really helped me, and I don't feel bad about it. That's what I'm saying. Like my boundaries are clear now. When I say like I don't want to do this anymore, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to listen to this, I am setting that boundary and I'm sticking to it. And I before was kind of like would be willing to more people please others than I would, and I would just like take the brunt of it, be like, well, as long as everyone else is happy, I'll just be miserable. No, fuck that. Like I don't have that anymore. I'm protecting my peace, and I don't need to give a shit. It's my my mental health, it's my like time and energy, and I don't want to put it into anything that's not positive. That is my 2021 goal, Zach and I. If you are negative, bye. If you are somebody that is toxic, bye. If you are somebody that is bringing negativity into our lives, we don't want it. If it's an app that's bringing negativity, bye. It's just one of those things where we've discovered that like we literally only live one time, and we are taking that into full consideration with everything. We live one time, and these times can either be fraught with anxiety and fear and feeling, you know, feeling sick because somebody said this to me, or I didn't like the way that they said that, or they're mad at me because I said that. No. Or it can be filled with, hey, why don't we all go for a family walk together in the sunshine, and we're not on social media reading all the shit about ourselves, and we are able to enjoy things without constantly feeling like this. No, it's been lovely, and setting those clear boundaries has been amazing, and that's been one thing that I've really started to do this year, and it's been great. Are you going to do more family videos? No. I don't want him to be on the internet. I showed him in my birth video, but like I show little things here and there on Instagram when he's like cute or he's like laughing or whatever. But other than that, no, I'm not going to be putting him in YouTube videos, and he's not going to be a YouTube personality. He's not going to have any presence on here at all. I want him to have his privacy. Like I've shown cute little things of like him giggling because it's just literally too precious not to. But you know, honestly, the older he's getting, the less I'm going to show. And we have a billion videos and pictures and stuff on our phones. That's all I kind of want to share with the internet is what I have, and like on Instagram stories and stuff. But no, he's not gonna have like, we're not gonna be family YouTube channel. On our second channel, we have the Sweet Life of Zack and Kristi, where we do like a gardening and homesteading and stuff like that channel, and we show like the yard and like some improvements that we're making on the house. We might show like sometimes him like out in the garden with us, or like when I'm baby wearing him, but that's really it. Someone said, did you finally get to eat your baby shower cake once you gave birth? No. It's the weirdest thing. I don't care about food anymore. It's like I cannot describe it. I don't know what happened. It's probably not having enough time to eat, and it just stuff my face with whatever I can eat. Like it'll be like, okay, piece of toast, fine. Okay, granola bar, okay. I cut out dairy 2.5 months ago for him. I thought that it was giving him like tummy troubles because he was spitting up a lot, and I do feel like it actually helped. He just still spits up, but like he's not nearly as like fussy or gassy or any of that kind of stuff. Just like, so you know, this, I'm gonna be talking about weight and stuff, so if that's hard for you to hear, because I know some people you know, struggle with that, then you might want to skip over as well. I've lost about 40 pounds since having him. Not trying, but I am breastfeeding, and you burn about an extra 500 calories a day apparently with breastfeeding, which is about 1 pound a week, and that has been definitely true for me. I cannot keep the weight on. I'm not trying. I'm just eating what I eat when I eat. I've been exercising, I've been drinking water, and I'm breastfeeding, and that's really all that I am doing. It's great, and I'm so happy about it because I feel like I feel really healthy. I feel like the healthiest I've ever been in like my weight. I've been smaller than this when I was keto, maybe like 8 pounds less than I am right now, but I feel great. It's been really awesome to not have to try and to have my relationship with the food be healthy. Like I'm eating carbs and everything, and I just don't concern myself with what I'm eating anymore. I don't know what happened. I guess it's just a non-issue to me right now. I just don't care. What size clothes is my baby wearing right now? 3 to 6 months, so he's right in the clothing range. He's 4 months old right now, so 3 to 6. Be honest, has the cooch recovered? I'm terrified. Recovered? Yes. Is it the same? Mostly. There's definitely some changes. Things that were really in or not so in anymore. I also have like this pubic bone. It feels like somebody kicked me in the crotch. Like it just always feels like kind of like sore. Yeah. Yeah. Similar. Mostly, I'd say for the majority similar. I definitely noticed differences though. Yeah, but it's fine. I didn't tear really or anything, just a little internal one. There's just some things that are like, just, I'm gonna say like 90% the same, but that 10% is like, sometimes I'm like, okay. Are we gonna do a house tour? Yes, that'll be on our Sweet Life of Zack and Kristi channel. We'll be doing it soon. I wanna put up the baby's wallpaper first. And we got him some wallpaper from this place called A New Wall, and it is so cute, and I cannot wait to put it up. But it's gonna be a bitch. I've never done wallpaper before, and it is like peel and stick, and it looks like such a pain in the ass. I'm gonna need some help. So as soon as his wallpaper goes up and we get his little nursery area of our bedroom done, I think we'll end up doing a house tour because we are pretty much there. Some people ask how my cluster headaches have been. They've been terrible since having him. I thought, so in pregnancy they were so much better, but since having him, I've had more than I've ever had in my entire life. It's terrible. I think last month I had 10, which is a lot because they've been way more severe in pain as well. Whereas before, like sometimes they would sit like around 6 or 7, they're like 10 out of 10 right now. Like it's like I'm giving birth out of my eye. The one positive thing I can say to that is that I have now started taking my Triptan again. So it's sumatriptan or Imitrex, even though I'm breastfeeding, at the okay of my doctors. And I have, because I didn't take it at all during my pregnancy and for the first 4 months of his life, I only recently started taking, I think maybe 2 weeks ago. I've been able to take half of a pill and it works great, and my side effects are very minimal. It's been working for my headaches, and I don't notice any bad side effects in the baby. So there's that. At least thank God the pain control is working, because I suffered through my whole pregnancy and for the first few months of his life just like struggling in pain, and now that I'm able to take that medication, it's been really, really helpful. And I had one yesterday. So they're definitely happening. I'm getting one at least every 4 to 5 days, and they're 10 out of 10 intensity. That doesn't sound like that much in like terms of like getting them, because some people have migraines and stuff like that every day, but this is a lot for me. It's a lot for me because it's like back to pre-pregnancy. It's really bad. Current TV favorites, all I watch is The Office. It's like my one thing. I just like, that's all I care about is The Office. And I've been listening to the Office Ladies podcast, and it is amazing. If you don't listen to it, it is so good. If you just want to like listen to something happy and fun, and you watch The Office and you love it and you're done and you want like something more, listen to the Office Ladies podcast. It is my favorite ever. It is so, so good. It's Angela Kinsey and Jenna Fisher, which are Pam and Angela from The Office, and they sit down and they review each of the episodes. They go into detail and they like tell you about the backstory and stuff like that of the episodes. It's so good. How do you handle all the different ways of raising a child? I don't know. He's really little at this point, so it's really just like a survival mode thing. We haven't gotten into the teaching and all of that kind of stuff yet, and like the actual like raising of a child beyond like meeting, you know, like telling him I love him and playing with him and kissing his little feet and stuff. It's like I haven't gotten into like having to teach and discipline and all of that, so I honestly don't know. I'm just going to use my gut. I have determined that figuring out how other people do it, seeing how other people have done it, listening to other people's advice, getting too much information from all these different outside sources, I need to parent how it feels natural to me and how I want to see him raised. That's that on that. I can listen to like, this is gentle parenting, oh, this is the stern parenting, this is that. I don't need to have a label on what I do with my son. I'm going to raise him the way that I think that he should be raised, and hopefully I do a good job. Are you guys starting a garden this year? No, we are building the garden this year. So we're getting a greenhouse put in, and we are going to build the raised beds, build the fence, because you have to have a deer fence out here. We're in the middle of the woods, and you have to have a deer and elk fence that's like 7 feet tall at least, because they will scale your fence and eat everything in your garden. So you have to have a fence out here. And so we are building the garden this year, and then next year we will definitely be doing the garden, but we're not gonna actually have one until next year. So we were growing herbs and stuff like that, yes. Like we're gonna like set up a space for an orchard, we're gonna get apple trees. We bought an espaliered apple tree, and it's like a grafted apple tree, so it's cool. It's got Fuji Gala and Honeycrisp apples on it, and oh, I just can't wait for that. It hasn't produced yet, but we did buy it. And but no, we won't actually be doing a garden this year, but we will be building it and getting it all ready for next year, and I'm excited for that. So if you guys are interested in seeing us do that like journey, subscribe to our Sweet Life of Zack and Kristi channel. That's where we're going to be documenting the whole thing. So yay. There's a lot more questions on here, but I can hear that he's awake right now inside the house with Zack, and I don't want to, you know, just be out here for like ever making this video. So I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna do another one of these shortly. I hope I answered some questions that might be interesting to you guys. I hope this video wasn't too long, and it was really nice to sit down and chat with you guys. I love you guys. Oh, are you okay? You all right? Chimney. Freaking hummingbirds just were fighting and they both smacked into the window right in front of me. They're okay though. I hope that you guys are doing well, and I am doing a lot better, and I'm really excited for spring and summer, and the weather has made a huge impact on my mental health too. Like it just being nicer here in Washington, which it doesn't look nice outside today. It's just overcast, but at least it's not raining. And yeah, everything's going as well as it can, and I thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for asking your questions, and I appreciate you so much, and I love you guys, and I really miss you, and I'm sorry that these videos are so few and far between, but I'm just doing my best and trying to you know, find some time here and there, and you know, we'll take it one day at a time. I definitely will get back to makeup videos. Like that's why I wanted to make this video a get ready with me today, even though my makeup, like, it literally looks like I could not be wearing makeup, but it's at least something. So I thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me and for sticking around and for being awesome and for being a killer community. Like, you guys could not be more supportive. I couldn't believe the response on my last 2 videos. I honestly expected to get like no views and for like to just be like irrelevant. After all that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna come back and nobody's ever gonna watch my videos again, but that's my self-loathing talking. Yeah, I definitely want to get back to makeup content as well. My makeup area upstairs is not fully set up yet, so that's why we've been getting a lot of like filming outdoors and natural lighting type of content, but it's also kind of calming and nice, and like, I don't know, I love watching videos of people filming out in nature, and now that I have this like covered area, I can do this all the time. So I will do more of these in the future. Follow on Instagram and watch the Instagram stories if you guys want an update on when I'm going to be doing these. They're sporadic and they just kind of come when they come. So all right, well, I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you at my next video. Bye!